Power Hour starts now as we're dropping into our first look at Haven's Hollow. And again, you talk about resurgence, you talk about your ability to try to get high eliminations, but at the same time, valuing the timer of when you can be brought back. And just, again, look at the map. It's just the colors. Oh, it's just absolutely vibrant in this late summer, early fall setting, not to mention what the actual POIs bring to the map themselves.
9 POIs counted yesterday, and Research Center being one that has a buy station right in the middle of the, research, obviously the center. And yeah, quickly, the name of the game is get your loot, get your cash, and be able to get picks early as teams are landing in late. Adrian, easy pickets for him.
Yeah, looking like getting a nice little MXR out of the initial ground loot. And he's feeling like it's time to find one of his first kills. Help is starting to come back through, though. Decent turn, but shut down. And that'll put him in a little bit of trouble as Booyah and the rest of the squad will try to regain, stay alive, and again, hunt for that first win. Nothing more important in COD Next than being able to boast that you got the first ever win on Haven's Hollow.
One of the things that the dev team highlighted is just the fact that you do have multiple levels, multiple layers where you can regain. So just being able to find a regained spot after, going down early is challenging. But look at Symphony. He's already on 8 kills right now, making it look pretty easy. The MXR-17 seems to be a ground loot weapon that we've been seeing here. Adrian also had one in his hand. Yeah,
I mean, it's always really fun, I think, just to take a look to see when we go from multiplayer to Warzone, how the weapons kind of transcend, or maybe not, from one to the other, and what actually feels good in hand. Because often we see, the multiplayer meta does kind of lend itself to ideas into the Warzone space, but not always the case. But again, if you missed it earlier, Xfinity partnered with Call of Duty Next. If you are an Xfinity customer, you can get early access to Black Ops 7 Open Beta. Make sure you sign up at xfinity.com/rewards. We're talking free access, people. Head on over, get yourself ready to go, get yourself preloaded, ready to drop in on October 2nd.
Symphony just finding picks and being able to pick out other enemies' loadouts here. He finds himself finding an M8A1, a gun that we've been seeing here all day be very, very powerful, as well as that Drevik in hand. So hopping on board with Aiden now, kind of just working away outside the perimeter of zone, rotating in from the Warzone gods, though. This is, pretty comfortable. They know exactly what to do. Pick up your UAVs, find information, and continuing on rotating in on the side of the barns here. They are doing just that.
EWC champion, you know for a fact there is nothing more prioritized in his mind than being able to follow that up with the first ever win on our new Resurgence map. And yep, they've got a little bit of a bait here on a loadout drop in front of them, and that is a blender. Absolute decimation. Squad wipe coming through for them, and now you're in a position to, this team is in the healthy spot of possibly winning this lobby.
That was Decky and the boys he took down, and man, continuing on to melee weapon out, running faster here. Maybe we'll see some of those TCL power hour stuff coming in as, we have challenges that these guys need to complete. But nonetheless, here now the zone is closing in. Top 3 for these guys, who are going to be our winners for Haven's Hollow.
Well, they've got all 3 members left. 7 total players still alive in this lobby. And yes, we are going esports mode with this commentary. This is what we want to see. First ever Haven's Hollow win. Can Aiden, Fief, Symphony be the squad to do it? Shut down one team, just one more player to find. They're looking good for it. It's calm, it's casual, and we're taking body shields. Looking to finalize the elimination. That'll be good for Power Hour box, and there it is. Aiden and co, your Warzone victory on Haven's Hollow.
Lighten it up to around the main street. I think that was one of the hot spots we had talked about here on Haven's Hollow, but Shift, taking first looks at it, it is beautiful, it is bright. I feel like visually you can literally see everything.
And that's the key, I think a lot of players, when you look at kind of the history of where Call of Duty has been in the last couple of the titles, there's always a question of what's the visibility going to look like in kind of more, generic settings where we talk about like things that are in modern times, or most recently for Black Ops 6 going back to the 90s, a very gritty, a very grungy game. This one feels very vibrant, very different, very fresh. And I think players are really going to enjoy that, not just across what we saw in multiplayer, but we also saw it in Zombies, and now we're seeing it specifically in Warzone. If you want to get the full spectrum and make sure that you're looking at high quality, make sure you check out AMD, the official CPU and GPU partner of Black Ops 7 and Call of Duty Next.
A lot of the players were saying that too. Like, this is just a beautiful blend, it feels like, of like all games. You get a little bit of Black Ops 2, you get a little bit of Black Ops 3, you get Black Ops 4 elements, even some kind of IW elements in it. It's just like a blend of all Call of Duties, it almost feels like, but it's very fluid, and you can still see that fluidity continuing on here in Warzone.
Well, we'll head over to Scump, Shotzzy, Methods. A little bit of trouble on the outside of the circle in Zone 5. No more Resurgence at this point. If you're unfamiliar with the mode, you eventually do not get that immediate Rebirth back in. Oh, and a little bit of trouble here working their way back into Zone, trying to play the slow side of the circle, see if they can find a way to come through as... How about this? Leonard Fournette finds himself teamed up with the majority of Team Falcon, Soka, and Shifty in the mix with him, trying to carry him to a win.
Peacekeeper in hand too, being able to take down Scump. Oh, Scump did slide away, but still does get pinched by Shifty there. And there's the habit. Leonard, Hisoka, and Shifty also win this other game here of Haven's Hollow, displaying it and winning it around the chapel side. You love to hear. Happy cheers. All right, he's feeling himself.
That's the Falcons energy right there, though.
Yeah.
That's the Falcons energy right there. Leonard's having himself a good time. I'm sure we'll see him in the beta. And, you know, I just want to throw a little shout out into the mix, too. You know, talking with the devs and hearing them, of course, here across the show. This feels like there's a different level of, like, aura and pride surrounding every element of this COD Next, where they really feel like this may be one of the giants in the history of Treyarch releases, talking about the content depth that we're seeing not just on launch, but especially building even further into Season 1. I mean, this is going to be a really fall into early winter for Call of Duty fans.
I love that you said that, Shift, because you know I've been gleaming about it. The fact that we have global progression across the board with this content. Like, it doesn't matter if you're playing Warzone, if you're playing campaign, if you're playing multiplayer, you can level up your favorite weapon, even if you're playing Resurgence here. So kind of on the research side, we see FIFA, again, looning around. It just looks so pretty, so beautiful. But for most of these players, you kind of see them finding a lot of success outside the perimeters and rotating in.
And there's something about finding your first Warzone victory on a new map, but can't you go back to back?
Ooh.
That's got to be the goal. I mean, these guys, if you've followed their streams, you know that these guys look to try to string together a win after a win after a win. And, ooh, Redman's actually showing up in the proximity chat, so we may have a couple of Goliaths in the Warzone space facing off if they end up meeting here outside of Research.
Yeah, well, I have loudness EQ with my IEMs and...
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Great. That's a good comment.
Got the right teammate.
All right. Well, being able to, of course, pinpoint those opponents as you see outside the Research Center. If you're wondering, the Research Center is far east of this map, and of course, prepare for battle. Corsair, the official gaming hardware and peripheral partner of Call of Duty.
Yeah. These guys are going hard. Not that it's a surprise, but they're not even commenting like the proc chat in game. Like, these guys must have downloaded external software to find themselves to make sure we're not giving anyone anything. Like, we're locked in here.
Bro, you stream sniping?
Yeah. These guys, yeah, they'll always keep you laughing, always feeling the group. But yeah,
I'll be honest, I think
I love just kind of just like looking at ground loot, right? We're seeing a lot of the legendary MXR-17, which almost kind of looks like gives me HVK vibes for BO3. Also, to kind of just taking a look at the loadouts of what some players decided to pick, the M8 with the Dravik seems to be quite popular with Mountaineer, Quick Fix, and Tempered. As you know, Tempered does give you that 2-plate slot as you can heal up quickly.
Yeah. So some early ideas in terms of what weapons in Black Ops 7 may become viable in the Warzone space. What's your feelings kind of looking at this map? I know that, you know, we're coming off of a lot of exposure in content surrounding Rebirth Island, whether it be from EWC or just other events that have been happening in the space. But you kind of heard the devs talking about the fact that, like, we really purposefully, with the intention of using water, really not using water. Yeah, there's water elements, but they're all shallow. We're not seeing that same kind of swimming around regain style, so it really forces you to play inside the bounds of the map itself. What do you feel about that compared to other Resurgence maps that we've seen in the past?
I like it because, like, you know, you really just have the water that's kind of on the far east side of the map that separates like the mansion area, and then like it kind of just goes around the map. So it kind of creates like this outermost like regain situation where you have these hot spots, but then regain spots, and it's kind of like a blend of both internally in the map, but it's like it's not too much where You just get caught and you can't regain at all, right?
Oh my goodness! Aiden just got put on Reddit. Yep. Nope. Nope. Oh my goodness. He just got spit on. That was repulsive Biffle!
Not today. You even saw the head shake too.
I mean, I cannot believe what I just saw. He had every advantage in that gunfight. Off the mantle. But again, Omni movement, a little bit different. And now a chance to move deeper into the central POI for Repulse, Biffle, and Shamu.
He's with, I think, Hex on them.
I believe last year these were our first winners too.
Oh, good
So
call.
he's kind of serious to see Repulse beating for it. That was Matt Cracks that he just took down. And another one. Is that Big Daddy Hex?
That was Big Daddy Hex. That's the boss.
Ooh!
Wow.
How dare you do that to him? Breaking his arm like that, Repulse? Come on now. This is context.
We can push that for some gas.
This is sick. And you know, it's interesting because here's another point of that water you just kind of mentioned, just to kind of put it into some visual identity for you all at home. It is just like, it's not going to be the same that you've seen across things like Rebirth Island in the past, where it's like you can deep dive, try to regain, wait for your teammates to jump back in. Like it's going to force you to play inside the map from really start to finish, which I think also builds towards a more frenetic pace. You kind of you heard that word be used a lot by the devs. Like a lot of these POIs are very chaotic. You've got a lot of central points that you can fight over, but also on the exteriors, places like train station, places like coal depot, are going to force a lot of teams to continue to fight even when they're not at full strength.
Those buy stations really make a difference too, as far as where you're regaining and you know, what teams could be holding them down or locking it in. Repulse able to get some information. UAV you can see on the map, being able to locate enemies as it's pretty much an advanced UAV we got going on here.
Yeah, they got advanced right now. Yeah, so you would feel like this POV is going to be a fun one to watch through the foreseeable future. Trying to single-handedly hunt down a team of 3 in front of them. Smokes are out. Hunt is on. Looks like this could be a third-party situation as well. And, well, no need for it as Repulse is just doing it all himself. So, again, you're seeing some of the most experienced Warzone players really just running and gunning at the moment. Ooh. Small moment of hesitation as Breadman takes him down. But, you know, the other thing about this map that, you know, especially coming off of taking a look at maps like Rebirth Island, which is currently one of the big favorites for Resurgence, is that you do have levels of elevation, but it's hilly. It's not like these dramatic inclines where you see zip lines are necessary. You know, I think that, again, leads towards how does the movement of Black Ops 7 transition into the Warzone space?
I love that you say that, because it's like I'm thinking, okay, I don't have to break my neck looking up at peak or like the verticality. It's not too high. It almost seems just pretty level headed. You know, some of these buildings though, where you do have multiple levels where you could potentially hold the high ground or maybe even land on the roof, could be beneficial. But nonetheless, I agree with you. It does seem very like blended out. It's not too much in terms of verticality. Did I just see 19?
I saw 19 for Repulse. So. These guys are holding nothing back at the moment. Fun stuff. And we're going to start to seek another late game situation. And like even just looking at them on the drop in, like, yes, you've got these central areas that are going to have a bit more clutter, a little bit difficult to kind of use that kind of more floating UAV style. But the map it feels open. Like there are a lot of transitionary spaces that you could get caught on. So one of those things you got to be a little bit more cautious of as we head on over to Teep, playing with Isaac and Crowder. These three boys were vibing yesterday, very close to one another in their setups during the tech test. For some reason, I can't say the words tech test together.
It's going to be a tongue twister. Oh, shots on. I believe that is that Chrissy down below. Napalm strike you see coming inbound. But I love the fact of kind of like this utilization, right? You mentioned that open area and rotating out. I feel like that's where we see players use a lot of stim shots, smokes, using those utilities to get across.
Yeah, and that's familiar, right? And that's kind of what we've been talking about a lot through COD is how much of the game feels familiar but uniquely different. You're going to start to see, like, yeah, the things that you've been building over the course of at least the last year in Warzone will still apply. It just comes down to how can you utilize new movement techniques, and maybe even more so, again, with tac sprint being a thing you have to really perk into. It's going to change how you like your loadout creation is going to look like. But I don't know. It feels like looking, especially at our most experienced players, it feels like they're already locked in, and there's no stranger to what they're already seeing in the gameplay form.
Correct. think we saw TP a little bit with the LMG, the MK. 18 being one of them, but another elimination we got here, abusing a body shield. We're seeing too much of this tactical plays here, but nonetheless, you kind of see that big game bounty going in, and I think the boys are going to go towards Ryda there, who you can kind of see the big game bounty running away.
Yeah, they're on the way. You heard the calls. They're hunting.
Oh, they're on my level.
I think especially knowing that early circle days, you're going to lose the resurgence timer here in a moment, but you've got a 3v2, and yeah, there goes Joe, there goes Brett. Looking for the last, good nade, but not enough. Ryder will fall, and the resurgence does get disabled in that moment, so Biffle will pop the advanced UAV, and now it's on to the hunt for the next one, although I do believe Joe may have just spawned right back in again, so maybe a chance for that team that they found as victims to regain.
I have to say, visually, Mansion looks so clean, especially with the hardwood floors.
Yeah.
And again, there's not a lot of dark spaces, dark corners where players have talked about. Sometimes it's visually hard to see enemies and opponents, but I just visually again, have to stress, even inside buildings, how good it looks.
Yeah. It's just, everything feels so clear, and the other word that we've heard the dev team talk about a lot is lighting.
Yeah.
How much focus they put on the exterior versus the interior of certain areas. And you're right, again, dark contrast versus light bodies. Other areas that feel like you have an idea or an opportunity to utilize cover, but it's still like you're not incognito, I guess I should say. Like you're not camouflaged by the environment around you, and it's just, I think that's something that people find a lot of fun with, being able to know where your fight is going to be, and it feels like you're on even footing. And there it is, another look back over towards the Z-Rex and what this area starts to look like, especially, again, that big open dome, that big atrium, where that natural lighting can still illuminate a lot of these darker corners.
Still providing that realism element to the game. And we just love to see that. So kind of just, I think I believe this squad here, Repulse, Biffle, Lucky, they've kind of cleared everything out, but just making sure, still kind of as we roam through Mansion side.
Yeah, 3v1 situation, so they're going to get a win here. But Repulse is going to have some clips to send to Twitter later. that much
for sure. I was like, man, they wiped everybody so dang fast. I was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't even realize that. One player
wait,
left.
they're going for the dedicated melee kill. This is part of the TCL Power Hour. They're going for the dedicated melee kill. If you want a 27-inch TV, get loud in chat, because this is what you need. They're on the hunt. Get there, run there, sprint, get there. Biffle, do it. Do it, Biffle. Do it, Biffle. We want televisions. Yeah!
Oh, man.
Bro.
Oh, we love it. That's a perfect way to take a momentary pause. Biffle Repulse lighten things up here on Havens Hollow. We'll be back. More Warzone coming up. Don't go far.